Circle template is going to be basically the same thing. You can simply just look at the size circle that you want, and in many cases it's okay to simply go, I'm not really sure how big, and just kind of move the template around until you get the size that you think you're going to want on your paper. But again, you just want to make sure you hold it as steady as you possibly can. You'll notice that most circle templates have these marks at the sides, and where those come together would be the exact center of your circle. So that can help you eyeball sorts of things if you're trying to line things up. But again, just trying to hold it as steady as you possibly can, and you're trying to keep your circle, the pencil mark, as even as you can all the way around the circle. So when you start, you're trying to have the same pencil heft and weight and size all the way around. You're trying to avoid what I did here actually, and that is make a little mark where you're putting the pencil down or picking it up. So you'll notice on the circle I did a little bit better job there, and it's difficult to see where I put the pencil down and pick the pencil up. What you don't want to be doing is going over things over and over and over again. We don't want to do that. That gives us a very thick line that we don't want, because the more times you go over things, the more likely you are to make an error with it. With bigger circles, sometimes it's a little bit harder. What we also don't want is picking it up, putting it back down, picking it up, putting it back down, changing direction. The more you put your pencil on the paper, the more likely you are to have little squiggle marks like this where people can see that you've put the pencil down or picked the pencil back up. And that's some of the things that we're trying to avoid. When you put your pencil down on the paper, you want to have the same line consistency all the way from beginning to end. So I recommend just practicing. And if you're at home on your kitchen table and your kitchen table has got a lot of scratches, you don't have a drafting table or anything like that, don't worry so much about those things. But what you're trying to do as best as you possibly can is get consistency in your lines from beginning to end. And it might simply be that you put your T-square on your table. You might have to brace it against a book or something like that if your table happens to be round, and simply just start drawing some lines on here. And can you make the same line from beginning to end? So try a couple of circles, try a couple of lines, try a couple of different pencils. You may find that you like a harder pencil or a softer pencil. If you are very heavy-handed, you'll probably want to go with a harder pencil. If you tend to be very light-handed, you'll probably want to go with a softer pencil.